everyone, I'm Connie and welcome to Connie's Healthy Kitchen. I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. This is my first YouTube post, so I am very nervous and really challenging myself because I do not like technology, and this has been my New Year's resolution, is to embrace technology. Last year was to embrace health, and with that said, back in the beginning of 2020, around March, I began a weight loss journey and a health journey. I was going to have 2 major foot surgeries, and during that time, we discovered I had 2 spinal cysts growing into my spinal cord. So I was going to be bedridden for about 6 months or so. At that time, I was over 200 pounds, I think 208 to be exact. And I knew I needed to make some changes. In order to be able to deal with being non-weight bearing for all that time, I needed to get the weight off. So I began a really great health journey, took on a health coach, and began to learn to eat differently. Fast forward, mid-July, my first surgery was scheduled, and I had been down 50 pounds. Had the surgery, I was non-weight bearing for 6 weeks, and at the end of 6 weeks and 2 weeks of cast, I weighed myself and I had lost an additional 25 pounds at that time. I was thrilled. And then from that point, I had to have my other surgery plus the spinal cord surgery, and we were heading into the holidays. And I really wanted to stay focused and be accountable for my new health journey. And by the end of the year, I was down over 80 pounds. So I've been challenged by my health coach to live out loud with my health journey, and so I'm beginning to do just that. Hopefully this will inspire other people. I have always been overweight, so this is something that is really new to me, to put myself out there and to share this story. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we can learn how to substitute things that are typically not always so healthy for us. Good natural foods are good for you. Too much of one thing, no matter what it is never good for you. One of the things I really worked hard on this past year was getting out of starchy, ricey, potatoey, bready type foods. Not that I can't have them. I plan on bringing some of them back. But during that time, I had to find alternatives to kind of satisfy those cravings. At the beginning of this year, I decided I'm going to tackle root vegetables that are really super healthy for you and very low in the carbohydrate glycemic index. And so if you were on my Facebook page, I had done a video on daikon radishes, which I have never heard of before and have become a great big fan of them. And I decided, hey, let's try turnips. So I ran out to our natural health food store and I picked up some turnips, discovered there's all sorts of different colors. But in today's recipe, what I wanted to do was work with just your basic red top or butter white turnips. This recipe is called almost potato turnip au gratin. And so what we're gonna do is make this dish, and I'm going to serve it with really lean sirloin steak and probably also some broccoli or green beans to go with it. So we have a lot of good healthy vegetables along with our protein. So let's get started, shall we? First, you will need turnips. The recipe calls for 18 ounces. When I did my conversion, that's 510 grams. I have a 1/4 cup onion. I had to use shallots because I really have cut back my use on onions because they're a higher glycemic item, but we can have onion as a condiment. So I did a 1/4 cup of shallots, but you can use regular onion as well. You'll need a teaspoon of garlic powder, and you'll need 8 ounces of fat reduced, not fat free, fat reduced sliced Swiss cheese. You'll need a cup of chicken broth. And what I do is I go for the less sodium because the salt can really cause inflammation and hold water, as we all know. So what I did was I took a cup of this broth and a teaspoon of salt, and I created a boiling bath here. And what I did was I peeled the turnips and I sliced them on my mandolin, or you can hand slice them. You want them about a 1/4 inch thick. And you're going to want to put them into this chicken stock bath, so to speak. And you're gonna want them to boil for about 3 minutes until they're a little translucent, but you don't want them to fall apart. That would be bad. So I'm gonna set the timer for 3 minutes, and I'll get back to you when it's all done and we'll show you what they look like. So we're all done boiling the turnips, and this is pretty much what they look like. You want them to be somewhat translucent, but you really do not want them to be where they're falling apart, because it will cause a problem and make a whole mess for you. So I've lost my turnip, hang on here. So you do want them to be somewhat firm, but also translucent. So the next step is you want to spray your pan that you're going to be baking it in. I have a 9.5 by 11 pan here. And we coat it with nonstick spray just to make sure we're not making a huge mess here. And then the recipe calls for us to scatter these onions, or in this case shallots, across the bottom of the pan. I think that's going to create a nice roasting and steam up through the slices of the turnips. So that's going to be pretty fun. And then you're going to just layer these turnips like so. I used a mandolin to slice these turnips so it's a little more evenly sliced so they cook better. You want to set it for about a 1/4 inch thickness. That gives you a nice meaty or steaky type thickness there, but not too overwhelming. Not too thick, not too thin. If you get it too thin, you'll have it break like this one did. That was at the tail end of my slicing. So now we've got our 510 grams, or the 18 ounces of turnips, layered nicely on the pan, well dispersed, like so. And then we're gonna sprinkle it with a teaspoon of garlic powder. And I'm one of those people that like to sprinkle it. Hopefully for some of you out there, garlic is a wonderful condiment for you, but I know some people can't handle garlic. Maybe you can do another alternative. The key thing is to try to stay away from the salt, because we want this to be a heart healthy dish. That's the whole idea. So the next step, which is going to be, I'm just going to rip off this one bad turnip. I didn't like that dark spot there. All right, then we're going to put 8 ounces of light, low fat cream cheese. Again, not fat free, low fat. And who doesn't like cheese? The thing I learned about the program I was on is, you really want a healthy balance of fats, proteins, condiments, and the amount of vegetables or greens that you get in a day. And I really had to rethink a lot of that. I never thought about adding garlic or onion or any kind of spices, because I love spices, would actually cause a carbohydrate increase as well. So learning just the correct proportions was very important to me. Well, this is what it looks like before we put it in the oven and all its cheesy goodness. And it seems like it would be so naughty, but because it's a light, low-fat cream cheese, Swiss cheese, and it is turnips, which is a very low glycemic food, and we boiled them in a chicken broth and water combination with a little bit of salt. It's going to have a really nice flavor. So we're going to put this in for 30 minutes, and I will show you the finished product when it's done.
A little later.
Hi everyone, so the turnips are finished, and I thought I'd just give you a good close-up look of this. Look how brown and beautiful they are. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous dish. I also am going to be serving with these turnips some really lean, beautiful sirloin steaks. And then I just blanched some green beans and just put a little garlic grinder salt on that. And there you go, you have a lean and green. The turnips, this serves 8. And per serving, you get a 1 green, you get a 1/4 lean with that. So be aware that you're going to have to accommodate your protein, knowing that a little of that protein allotment is going to go towards your cheesy turnips. And it's only 1 3/4 condiments, So I was able to use a little bit of that garlic grinder salt that I have on top of the steaks. And I was also able to put a little bit of that onto our green beans. And so this is what we're having this Saturday night. I do apologize for the fan. When I use my broiler, it just kicks on and it won't shut off for a long time. But I hope you enjoyed this video. We're serving it with some orange mint water, a heart-healthy beverage of choice, and also some iced tea. So I hope you enjoyed our little video with turnips, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye!